Okay, it is 6 o'clock on Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. I'm going to call to order the meeting on the Council of Family Resource Centers. Rochelle, do you mind doing roll call?
Rachel Kingham, Rebecca Paris,
Here.
Ann Corey,
Here.
Vanessa Van Coor, Perla Garcia,
Present.
Scott Benton.
I am here. Thank you so much. That does mean we have quorum. So we will move on to agenda item 2, which is items from presentation, discussion, information, and or action. Item 2.01 is approval of the minutes from our our September 20th, 2023 meeting of the Council on Family Resource Centers. This is for possible action. Is there any changes we need to make to the minutes? Seeing none, is there any public comment on this item?
There is none.
I am looking for a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Ann Corey, move for approval.
Thank you, Ms. Corey. Is there a second?
Perla Garcia, second.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 2.02 is presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Family Resource Funding status, including the status of grant applications and possible action to provide recommendations to staff on scheduling future fundraising and publicity activities. Rochelle.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Rochelle Murillo for the record. This is a standing agenda item where we are able to provide you an update on some of the grants. As you all may recall, the Family Resource Center is entirely grant funded. We don't take funds from the general fund of the school district. We have a variety of federal and state grants that fund the work that we do within the Family Resource Centers. So we are always in grant season, always, all the time. So what I can tell you about our current grants are, we are in the middle of our grants currently. We are typically, unless it's a federal grant, our grant fiscal year is July 1 to June 30th, and our federal grants are September 1st to October 30th, right? No. Yeah, October 1st to September 30th. Sorry, I had to think about that. I can update you. Human Services Agency last week updated us that they are willing to commit to another year of funding staff at the Feemster Family Resource Center. So that'll be a year of funding 2 family advocates for our Feemster Family Resource Center. We are fully funded currently. We will be in the middle soon of grant writing season. And so that'll be coming up probably in the next month or so, where we will be applying for, in particular, Title 4B in our Family Resource Center, Funds for Healthy Nevada grant could be coming up. So we have a couple of grants that are pretty large grants for us and are ongoing grants, but we'll need to be applying for here in the next couple of months when those open up for us. I can also update you that we were a part of the community schools grant writing process. This is something that some of you are familiar with, that we've talked about, and we have been planning with many different agencies across Washoe County for many years. Unfortunately, we did not get that grant this year, and that was led by University of Nevada, Reno, but they are willing and committed to continue that work. And Ann Corey on our council now is a part of that group. And so I'll let her say anything if she wants to say anything, but or I might not put her on the spot. She could opt out. But we are still committed to moving forward with that. Family Resource Centers are a part of that grant. That grant would allow us to expand to other centers. or other schools such as Natchez and Sparks Middle School, areas where we're not currently serving. And so we're hopeful that we will continue that grant writing process, that Family Resource Centers will be a part of it, and it'll allow us to expand our services across other areas that are not currently being served. And I don't want to put Ann on the spot, but if she wanted to say anything, happy to.
Sure. Thank you, Rochelle. We were disappointed that we did not receive the grant. However, in some ways, it's probably a blessing because we are in a period of transition in the district, and it's hard to commit unknown superintendents to projects of this magnitude. So we're going back to the drawing board. We're going to re-examine our proposal and make some changes to it. Our last proposal was actually for a statewide grant, and we believe that we'll probably approach some other rural counties to join with us, but it will be primarily Northern Nevada.
Okay, and then the other part of this agenda item 2.02, this is a possible action agenda item because this is a standing agenda item, as I stated, that will allow the council members who have discussed previously in the past different ideas around fundraising. And so we keep this on our agenda just to allow you to bring up anything that you might want to discuss in terms of fundraising. You might not have ideas, but we continue to have this on the agenda in case you did want to discuss and move forward with any action on fundraising activities or ideas that you have. So I'll turn that back over to Chair Benton, if you'd like to say anything.
Yeah, so let's guide that conversation on what that looks like. We've always talked about having bake sale-like fundraisers for the Family Resource Centers because that's the magnitude of what this council and the effectiveness of 7 people can do. But I want the council to know that we as council members can't actively participate in the fundraiser. We have to leave it to the staff of the Family Resource Centers. So I ask that it stays on the agenda so that we can keep brainstorming to see what we can do to bring in big dollars for the Family Resource Centers as undiscretionary funds, so that they have the ability to use them how they want without having to put too much tension on the already stretched out rubber bands that they're working with. So I say that to open the conversation. If there's anything that any of the council members want to contribute, we can certainly take action on anything, but I want to preference that with saying that we don't want small fundraisers. Yes, they're great. We can attend the fundraisers. We can't plan them. It's district staff that has to do that. And so I want to be mindful as a council what more we could possibly be asking of them. Yes, Ms. Corey.
Ann Corey, I just wanted to mention that at the last meeting, I had promised a list of potential grant sources for food-related grants, and I had forgotten about it until I read the minutes, and so I sent it to Lisa today.
Thank you
And
for that.
it's based on the experiences I had at Community Health Alliance and some of the food grants we were able to obtain for their food pantries. So I'm hoping that will make that a little easier.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Ann.
And Rochelle, can you remind me, because I feel like I have an elephant's brain but a rat-sized thought process today, what is it that the resource centers are struggling with so that we can I know that Perla and Ann are new, so maybe they have some ideas of where we can tap into something like food that would maybe offset some of the budgetary things that we're already.
Yeah, so with our federal and state grants, they're very specific in what we can and can't spend our funds on. And some of those things that families need are kind of, they're different, right? And so sometimes we need to help high schoolers do laundry so that they feel comfortable going to school, right? That they don't have dirty clothes, they don't smell, and they feel comfortable going to school. So to do laundry, you need quarters to get to go to the laundromat. So things like that, the quarters, they're kind of they're difficult because we can't really track them, right? But we've had people in the past do quarter drives for us, and we put baggies together so we can give families quarters to go do laundry. Of course, food is always a huge need for us. We have a really strong partnership with Food Bank of Northern Nevada, but that's something that's always a need. Housing continues to be a need for us. Some grants will allow us to use emergency rental assistance. We have some grants that will only allow us to pay for weekly motels and only 3 days at a time. 3 days is really hard to stabilize families in. And then what do we do after that? Emergency rental assistance, deposit assistance to get people into apartments or other places so that we can stabilize them and get them in consistent housing. And so that always is something I think that that family resource centers need. And then clothing, those kinds of things, just those things that are a little bit difficult to use federal funds to purchase are things that they need.
Thank you for sharing that. Any questions, comments, possible action from the council? Madam Vice Chair out there in Teams Land, do you have anything to add? Rebecca?
Sorry, my dog is barking.
Oh,
So I didn't want to get on and be disruptive.
thank you for that. Okay. Well, being that there's no action to oh, go for it.
Okay. Sorry, I think there's a delay on my computer too. So like for food pantries? I know that some schools have more need than others. Is that kind of correct, like with the areas? Because it seems like in Sun Valley, there may not be as many people utilizing the food pantry as maybe in like North Valley's
Right, yeah.
area.
I do think you're right, Rebecca, that it does vary. And then sometimes other things come up, like we need to get consumable food, right away. Like today, maybe someone comes in and says, I have 5 children, I don't have food tonight. And so if we don't have enough in the food pantry, being able to get groceries for a family so that they have, milk and eggs and, just those staples until we can get them more stabilized and access to more sustainable means of obtaining food. So yeah, you are right though, that some of our centers have more of a need, or at least there's more of a demand and people are coming in for food pantry needs than others. And some of them have more room to have food pantries and some don't have room to do a food pantry.
Absolutely, please.
In the case of Sun Valley specifically, I think there are at least 2 other pantries in Sun Valley, so it may be that there's a more concerted effort to meet the need there than in some of the other communities.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really good point, Anne, that some geographical areas have more condensed resources available in the neighborhood, and some, like in Stead, that's a resource desert. There's no other resources out there besides the Family Resource Center. So you see a lot of traffic at that center because there are essentially no other resources out there. And you must have transportation to access resources in town. So, so that can factor in. And Sun Valley also has a mobile harvest, which is really well attended as well.
So when we're looking at grant opportunities, we're not really looking at them for a specific center. It's more for all centers, correct? And then
Right.
we're hoping that with the leadership of the Family Resource Centers that you guys decide where the needs are and how to meet those needs with dollars.
Yeah,
that
we
go
do
out.
regularly meet and kind of determine and talk about our needs, but centers do have different needs. And also it's responding to the individual needs of clients that come in. Every client comes in with a different need. Some are more in crisis, some are less in crisis. So it just kind of depends on what the needs of the clients are too.
And then for those out there, I think it'd be important to understand that we don't use any of the school district dollars in the Family Resource Centers. Yes, we are housed
not.
on the campus of schools, but we are a resource to the community at large, not just.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Great conversation. Okay. Hearing none, I will move on to item 2.03, which is presentation, discussion, and possible action to, oh, let me go back to item 2.02 because it's listed as possible action. Is there any public comment?
There's none.
Thank you. Now I will officially close item 2.02 and move on to item 2.03, which is the presentation, discussion, and possible action to approve a potential event in recognition of the Family Resource Centers Day in May of 2024. Ms. Lisa, do you want to come up and guide us through some of this conversation that we've
Am I
had in the
doing
past
this?
that led us here?
We didn't discuss this one. Okay, I guess I'm
Okay.
doing this. You've got me again. For those of you that are new, way back when, one of our first family resource centers was at Desert Heights Elementary School out in Stead. And one of the things that the staff at that time, and I think it was about 20 years ago, did is they buried a time capsule. And last year or the year before, the principal at the time, it was time for us to dig up this time capsule. And within the time capsule was all of these different artifacts about Family Resource Center. And because the historical context behind that day didn't get shared with everyone, we learned that day that May 15th was actually declared as the the Day of Family Resource Centers here in Washoe County. So it's an actual like county recognized day of family resource centers. So we say that in recognition that here we are again coming up. Last year, this council was interested in doing the same idea as 2.02, an event, whether it was like a public recognition event, a fundraising event, a combination of the two. They wanted to do something. We didn't have quite enough time to organize that at the time because of the timing of the council meeting and learning about the Family Resource Center Day. We didn't have time to pull something together, but we wanted to put this on the agenda again to see if the council was interested in doing anything around the Family Resource Center Day on May 15th. It's 15th, right? I said that? Yeah, okay. May 15th, just because it's coming up in a few months. So I'm going to give it to you guys to see if there's any interest in doing anything, or if we wanted to wait for the following year and we just put this on the agenda and we talk about it and plan a little bit more. So.
Yes, Ms. Corey.
Were the artifacts from the time capsule shared broadly in the community at all?
They were, because we had our communications team there. They took pictures. There were pictures of the principal digging up the time capsule and then the pictures of the artifacts. So we had several pictures, and it was published on social media primarily.
Perla, yes.
Is this something that the council would be able to participate in, or is it the same as the previous?
And as I understand it, the actual action to coordinate something would fall with us. However, you can be there, you can participate, but because if we have more than 4, which is quorum, we would have to make sure that we advertise that to the public so the public knows that this could potentially be subject to open meeting law. And then we would also advise you to stay apart so that we're not discussing any official business without the public being able to hear your discussion.
I have a question.
Yes.
So would we want to do it at just one specific FRC? Or since we all can't be in the same room, could we maybe do it at 2 in different locations?
We potentially could do that, Rebecca. That's a good idea. We could do it at multiple centers. We've never done anything before, so it's brand new. It's sort of open to anything that you feel like would be appropriate.
I think Sarah was
Like
going to
maybe an
chime
open
in.
house or something?
I think that's the idea that we've gone with in the past, Rebecca, is that we wanted to open a family resource center up for the evening for an invite to the community to come in. But I think this agenda item leaves it up to us to plan it the way we want to see it, and hopefully the district staff can achieve that goal for us.
And just reminding the council that you all have discussed in the past doing things that are like public relations, getting the word out about family resource centers. So it just reminded me, Chair Benton, of just doing something like an open house would give the public an opportunity to learn more and see the family resource centers and ask questions.
And Sarah made a comment. Rochelle, if you want to read that to us, please.
Okay, Sarah said we would not need to agendize it and members can be there together, but we need to make sure they are not collectively discussing items that are part of the committee business.
Thank you for that, Sarah. Yes, Ms. Corey.
I'm wondering, we have talked in the full-service community schools group about doing more outreach to community members to hear what they would like to see offered in our family resource centers and in our schools. I'm wondering if this might be an opportunity to have some discussions, to bring some community voices in, to talk about that somewhat informally, but it could be kind of a roving conversation.
I think that's a great idea. And I think it's important not only for the 4 center employee 5 that are here tonight. I think, okay, how many ever of you have graced us with your presence? I don't want this just to be one day that we appreciate and recognize the staff that work there. It's an ongoing everyday process. So this is just highlighting a day and time to show our appreciation. And then also, like Anne and many of us have said, to get the recognition out there for the community to understand what the resource centers are able to offer. So I think we can guide the conversation and to your liking, and then also get some, I see 4 leaders in our audience tonight from the resource centers that really have a pulse on what the staff might want to do, not only want, but maybe contribute to, right? We don't want to ask them to do more and spend another night away from their family and it not be something that they're going to appreciate or something that's going to be worth their time. So oftentimes I see these faces out at events that I go to that are at 7 o'clock at night. So I just want to make sure that when we appreciate them, that it's, or recognizing the Family Resource Center Day, it's truly a recognition and not asking them to do more work. But that's just one voice, just mine. Rochelle, do you want action on this item, or can we have behind-the-scenes conversations, Anne going to some of her people, Perla going to some of her people, Rebecca going to some of her people, and then myself, and then we come back together in March and decide what May 15th looks like for us?
We could. So this is for a possible action. You could defer action today if you wanted to just converse with me between you and I. We could do that with ideas. We don't meet again until May, I believe, so.
March 20th.
March. Oh, is it March? Okay, yeah, so we could do some action and put this on the agenda again next time if you don't want to do action today.
Okay, so I would like to do that. I would like to leave the item out there, not take any action on it, since we're not going to ask the district staff to do anything. But I think introducing the topic like you did today was perfect, so that we have something to go back and have conversations with. Yes, Ms. Corey.
I'm just wondering if we have an opportunity to get input from staff on what they would like to do and what they feel is feasible to do, given their workloads.
Yeah, that's certainly something we could do, and if you wanted to take action on that today, you could vote on that, and then we would go back and we would just elicit feedback from all staff before the next meeting, and they'd be able to present it to you.
Perfect. Do you want to make that a motion?
I so move.
Okay. So we have a motion. Let's clear it up for Rochelle that we're asking the staff to give us ideas of what they would like to see for Recognition Day of the Family Resource Centers, correct? Perfect. So there's a motion. Is there a second on the motion?
I second.
Thank you, Perla. So we have a motion from Ann, a second from Perla. Any discussion on the motion? Is there any public comment?
There is none.
Thank you. Hearing that there's no discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And then Rochelle, we'll leave this on the agenda so that we can hear from you, who will report out what the staff is giving
Yes.
us. Perfect. Any other action that we want to take before we close item 2.03? Okay. Favorite agenda item of these meetings is item 2.04, and it's the presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Family Resource Center data and outreach events, including future community outreach events and volunteer opportunities. This is for presentation and discussion only, and we have two of our center directors in front of us, and I will allow them to take the microphone.
Hello, everybody. Brenda Costello. Do we have data?
Stand by, I'll bring it up right now.
Standing by.
Brenda, while they're pulling that up, do you mind introducing us all to your newest addition to the leadership team of the centers?
So I think we were going to have her do that at public comment, but
Okay.
I'm happy to, and she will be up here with Lisa.
Okay.
So, but in our audience is our newest FRC specialist.
Okay.
So she's been with us for 12 years. And I'll let her actually say her name and a little bit about
Okay.
herself.
May I ask really quick, Rebecca, can you see this?
Yes.
Is this the right one, Lisa? It was dated January 18th.
Yeah, it looks.
The one we have has an umbrella on the front page.
Okay. Stand by, let me check again.
It's January last year.
We'll get there.
Hold on. I always have a hard time getting this to like. They are, but I open them up, so they should be.
So it'll be a PowerPoint, she'll have to date speaks.
Yeah, it's just not letting me pull it up. Okay, just go ahead and go, and I will keep trying to pull it up. We have I think our district updated our teams today, and it's a little difficult to pull up.
Before we
So-
do that, can I just make sure, Rebecca, have you been emailed this information, or are you able to look at it so that we all have the same information? No? Okay. Thank you.
So, and in that Teams update, I was able to access Teams on one device, and on the other one, I was told, oh, no, you're not worthy. So,
Is it uploaded to Board Docs, Lisa?
It is, and
I
I'm
got
gonna
it.
email it to Rebecca right now.
Perfect,
I
thank
have
you.
it. Okay, Rebecca, it's coming up now. Let me know if you can see it now.
yay.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Welcome back, Brenda.
Oh, okay, so flipping to the first slide after our umbrella is this is our goal sheet. This is what we submit to the state for our FRC/FHN, the Funds for Healthy Nevada. This is what the information we give them. So Q1 and Q2 at the top there, it says number of individual case files. So those are the individuals that we've served. So Q2 is obviously October through December. So we're at, to date, year to date, at 4,855. And then the slide below, or not the slide, but the box below that is the number of families. So we've had 4,800 families, or 1,000 families with 4,800 individuals. So, and then the next page is a second goal, that 75% of the clients that will be pursuing their goals will actually achieve one of the goals. And we always, look, we went over actually, so we're at 100.47%. So, and over the years, there's been many discussions about what that means to make a goal. So when a family comes in, the goal is to like help them with whatever they came in for. So that's, the goal is that they asked for help, so they made the goal by showing up. It doesn't mean that we're going to pay the rent or pay the power bill. Those are like extras. Those are extra goals. But the first goal is that they came through the door and they asked for help. So we're always able to crush that one, that we got 100%. And those are just our data goals for the first 2 quarters. Any questions on that? And then we're moving forward to like the calls that come in.
Can you
Yep.
share with us what eLogic does and what is the purpose of eLogic?
So eLogic is our database. So we started using it probably 3 or 4 years ago in collaboration with the state of Nevada. So, and we were kind of like their pilot program. And so they've actually modeled a lot of the actual database based on things that we have, the input we've had. They're really responsive. We actually, Jesse and I had a meeting yesterday with them because there's a report that I needed that my employee was hand counting demographics, and she's like, oh, just this. And so it's a database. So it counts male, female, age, ethnicity, how many people are in the home, and so it captures everything. Of course, as we're growing, the reports are taking longer to run. So, but it's an impressive database. And in the beginning, like anything new, there was some reticence. And now it is so easy when a family calls and they're on the phone the very first time. Have you ever used the Family Resource Center? No, but you're on the phone. I see here you used our Central Reno Resource Center in 2019, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, maybe I was there. So, but it helps give historical context, and it also helps with like who's done what and who's on first and what's on second. So
Thank you for sharing that. Any questions for Brenda or Jesse on the eLogic? Okay.
Hi, this is Jasenia, Jesse, for the record. I'm gonna share the CallRail database. What CallRail is the system we use for communicating with clients via phone, whether it is phone calls or text messages. So all of our centers have access to that, and we have what we call several lines that we communicate with our clients. So we have one number, and within that number, we have 5 extensions. So the call flow is generic when they choose 0, so all 5 centers have the capability of hearing the ringtone if they were to call. If they choose the different extensions, one for, I believe it's Sun Valley, extension 1, extension 2, and so on. So as you can see, we separated the call logs so you can see the quantity and the difference between the school year, which is July 1st, when we first began the new school year now. Between July and September 30th of 2023, we had a combination of all sites and extensions of 2,531 calls for all extensions. From there, October 1st through December 31st of 2023, we had an increased number by 1,000 of 3,280. So you can see that difference in the increase on the quantities of calls that we get. And from there, we move on to what the text conversations that we also receive on all centers combined. As you can see there, the date ranges are the same as the calls, so you guys can see the difference in between quarters. So from July 1st, 2023 through September 30th, we had a combination of 1,350 text conversations. And from October 1st through December 31st, we had 2,278 text conversations. So you can see that keeps increasing as the needs grow in our community on each area. Any questions?
So
Yes.
for our board, does anybody have an idea about why the leap from 1,300 text conversations to 2,200? I'll give you a hint. So CallRail has enabled us to take information over text. So people send us screenshots of their power bills.
Wow.
So July to September, it's not very cold, but October to December, here's my power bill.
Wow.
So lots of text messages of NV Energy power bills. So, Anne, you had a question.
Yes, thank you. I'm wondering what JPO transition is on the list of sites.
Of options?
Yeah, so we had previously, you may all remember Wiley, who was a part of our Family Resource Centers.
Nope, forgot all about him.
He did move on to a new position, and his current position is to support all students who are coming back from being incarcerated or in residential treatment centers and are on formal probation. And he connects them to the Family Resource Centers because, of course, he's very familiar. He worked in Family Resource Centers significantly. So he's been utilizing this database to track some of his work. And his primary job is to support students to re-enroll in our school district and to engage fully. And to be safe and successful in class. But that frequently means that families need to access resources through Family Resource Center. So it's sort of an expansion that we weren't really expecting in collaboration with Children's Cabinet.
An enhancement, we'll say.
Correct.
So, and this is Brenda again. So one of the reasons why we recognize that the younger generation does not want to talk on a phone. So they want to text. So a landline in a school district office doesn't have that capability. But we can call, especially if families see the phone ring and caller ID says Washoe County School District, they're like, but if you just text a student, said, hey, are you coming to school today? It's Wiley. So we're keeping up with the times.
Yes, Ms. Garcia.
I think that's also amazing doing the text because it also offers family who might need the translation to use those, different apps on their phone and such, so we reach more people. I love that.
And Jesse, before you go on, this is the first time we've seen text data, correct?
No, I think Wiley did share the first quarter before, but
Okay.
it was a different date
But
ranges.
this is the first year that we've actually captured data, or?
I believe so. You guys, I believe, wanted to see
Yeah.
what CallRail was about.
Perfect. I didn't want to ask what last year looked like if we didn't have information on last year, but
Right.
I really appreciate Brenda's nod to the increase and why it's increasing.
Yes.
I think you've attended a meeting before where I've asked.
Okay, so moving on, the next few slides talk about the Google business data that you've also seen previously. Each of our centers have a Google page that when people go on Google and search for us or what is a family resource center, where that office may be, that it's near their house. So it's broken down on the few views and ways people do look for us. So based on those regarding for each location, you can see Central FRC has over 5,000 people that view that location and breaks down on the resources that they were searching and their searchers were for, such as what is a Family Resource Center, Family Resource Center Reno, Rental Assistance Reno, Welfare Office, and Resources. So you can see the breakdown in regards to those searches for those 5,000 people. And the same goes on with the other centers, such as North Valleys, and then Sparks and Sun Valley.
To continue the conversation from a previous item tonight, each Family Resource Center has their specialty, so to say. Looking
Well-
at these numbers, is that reflective? Sparks has 7,000 where Sun Valley has 2,000.
No, I would not say each one has their
Okay.
specialty. We are all under the same funding source.
you.
And so we have the same mission, the same goals, because we are following the requirements of the grants. And NRS guides our work.
Okay.
So we have different centers to serve different areas. So
Areas,
some
okay.
areas have more need than others. And so, for example, like we were talking about, O'Brien has no resources out there. So they tend to have high numbers because there's no resources in the STED area
Okay.
like what Family Resource Center provides. But then we have the Feemster Family Resource Center and Sparks and Central that are located fairly close and are pretty concentrated in that neighborhood. And so you may see numbers to be slightly lower because they are geographically a little bit closer than STED that's way out there. And there's some different challenges in that community than there are sometimes where Worcester is or where Sparks High School is.
Thank you. So I will correct my statement, different challenges at different resource centers.
Right,
They
yeah.
face, not different specialties.
Right.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then there's the human element of when people go on to Google to review us, it's like a lot of times it's alphabetized, so Central might be first. And also, I think, Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, the Sparks has something to do where there's a tie-in directly with the school district main phone number. So people oftentimes are they're reviewing the Washoe County School District as a whole when they hit the Sparks one. So, and then the same with CallRail, it's one phone number, and we know, because we're human, you just keep pushing buttons until you get a human. So, and then you leave a review, or you talk to whoever, and then when we ask people sometimes, what's your zip code? And they're like, my what? I'm in Reno, Nevada. And I'm like, I know, I'm just trying to get you to the right place. So there's the human capacity as well, whether it's alphabetized or just pushing a button until they get somebody in.
And just adding one other thing, we don't have CallRail data here for, or Google Business data for HUG listed, but the Feemster Family Resource Center is more difficult to access. It's a single point of entry school. It's inside of the school, whereas O'Brien has a separate entrance for families to go through. So when families are coming to us, they are coming to us with private things that they don't necessarily want everybody to know about. And so it's less comfortable walking through an office with a bunch of school staff and students sometimes are greeting them and it's single point of entry and you have to wait until they buzz you in. Or you can go privately in another entrance and talk about your business without everybody seeing that you're coming in to talk about things that might be really private for you. And so you see a difference in numbers with Feemster Family Resource Center because of the way that you enter that school versus other centers where they have separate entrances and you can walk in privately.
Rochelle and I together can monopolize this whole category here. So back to like Sun Valley, I have 2 advocates, but they're paid out of a parenting grant. So they're out doing parenting classes and home visits. So if you look at the data on that, there says Child and Family Services because they're confirming their parenting visit. So they're not maybe in the office. So in some ways, Scott, you're right in that we all have kind of different spots that we slide into. So, but we do report one number to the state as far as our resource centers. And because of Google and CallRail, it is effortless for a family to get a hold of us. And again, they don't care who they're talking to as long as they think they're getting help or getting put to the right person. So, and lately, we've all had to pitch in for each other, so we don't really care. We're going to talk to you, and then we'll take your information so that takes a stress off of you, and then we'll pass it on to the right person or take a picture of the power bill and send it to us. I don't care where it comes from.
We can do it together. And for the last slide, we have something very nice to share with you guys with many, many stories that we would be here a long time if we were share, but we picked one in particular that was recent, and this family in particular is from Sparks FRC. It's a family success story that we've shared before from another location. So basically, this family consisted of a grandmother with her adult daughter and a 4-year-old child that recently arrived from another country seeking asylum in the U.S. They were supposed to go to another state, but their plans changed while they were in transit when the family who was supposed to house them said they were no longer able to do so. they were able to find someone else who could pick them up, and when they arrived at the U.S., they were also not able to house them. The person did pay for them to stay in a motel temporarily, but had no other resources or any belongings with them. The motel did refer the family to the FRC, as we have assisted many families there before. So FRC was able to pay for additional time at the motel, provide clothing, food, a stroller, hygiene items, and refer them to the shelter of Our Place and Catholic Charities for immigration consultation. They also, the preschool for the granddaughter was referred to them. They were able to help them get a cell phone as well through the Nevada International Center, and help them apply for public assistance as asylees. So they were all provided with SNAP and Medicaid, which was, of course, a huge help for the family. And the staff at the FRC were able to coordinate with the shelter at Our Place and continuing to assist them with the motel as well until they were able to move in to a stable place at the shelter. Staff was also able to find them angel tree to adopt them for Christmas, which was brought them a lot of relief for the holidays. And as of the last week of December, the mother and the grandmother both were able to receive work permits, and they were very eager to seek for employment, and they are very appreciative of all the services they received, thankfully, to visiting the FRC.
Wow, thank you.
And
for
from what I
sharing.
last heard, I just wanted to add there has been more great outcome for this family as the time keeps going. I believe they were able to find a job. Am I right, Lisa? I don't know if you want to add anything else. Yes.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Any questions? Comments? Brenda wants to run away, so we'll allow that.
Because we're actually just swapping out because
Okay.
Lisa and Jane are going to do outreach.
Okay.
We're
Thank
still on the
you.
same agenda.
Same agenda item. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman Benton and council members. Nice to see you. The person here to my right will be formally introduced during public comment, but she's here for moral support while I read our lengthy list of events and collaborations since we last saw each other. So as usual, we have been busy and out and about. We continue to have SNAP outreach at all of our sites in conjunction with the food bank. We continue to serve as intake sites for the SAFE Emergency Assistance Program through NV Energy, as well as the State of Nevada Energy Assistance Program. We attend SARB and ESARB meetings, which support families whose students are experiencing chronic absenteeism. We have Catholic Charities food distribution at Sparks High School. We have mobile harvest out at Sun Valley and North Valleys. North Valleys and Sun Valley also have a weekly food pantry. We participated in the Hug High Wraparound Services meeting, the Family Stability and Community Schools meeting that was mentioned earlier. We were involved in the Family Health Festival and its planning. We participated in the Nevada Immigrant Coalition meeting. We are involved in providing parenting classes through the Parent Project. Sparks and North Valley sites host ESL classes with Northern Nevada Literacy Council. We received a grant award from Silver Summit Health Plan, which when it is implemented will provide rental assistance and some other supports to Silver Summit members. We partnered with the Katie Grace Foundation and participated in a very fun volunteer day with them. We have been working with the Kendellen Group, which is providing free parenting classes that are really fantastic. Jesse has hosted them at North Valleys. There's a series coming up at the Sparks Library as well as Reno Town Mall. So we have been promoting those. There was a Family Health Festival out at North Valleys. North Valleys also hosted a free shoe event that was very popular. We participated in a trunk or treat at J. Wood Raw. We attended the Washoe County Sheriff's Office Resource Fair at TMCC. We attended a Dia de los Muertos events at Sparks High, the Children's Cabinet Community Resource Fair. We had an Awaken training for the intervention department. Jesse has hosted a couple of baby showers in conjunction with the Medicaid plans. I presented at a UNR special ed class. We attended the State of Education address and a SAFE board meeting. We have been partnering with Catholic Charities to promote their fantastic Elevating Families program. We were at the Stead Elementary Harvest Festival. A very big event that some of you might remember from previous years is our holiday assistance programs for Thanksgiving and Christmas, where we partner with the LDS Church, Catholic Charities, and our schools. That's a really big event that we do. The IBEW contacted us to adopt 20 families, which was nice. We partnered with Plastic Surgery Center of Reno for a winter clothing drive. We attended the CARES campus ribbon cutting. Jesse did a podcast for Good Shepherd Clothes Closet. We attended some subcommittee meetings through the Northern Nevada Health District, Alice Smith Elementary Pancakes and Breakfast with Santa, Lemon Valley Elementary School Winter Fest, Altrusa Monthly Meeting, and Christmas toy giveaways at the North Valleys Family Resource Center and Whitehead Elementary. Some upcoming events to keep an eye out for are the Wednesday webinars through the National Family Support Network. And happily, we're glad that you will all be joining us at the Human Services Network Annual Awards Banquet on February 1st. Thank
Any
you.
questions, comments from the council? Lisa, tell me about your favorite event from the last quarter.
Okay.
Us. No, I'm not here by myself.
They were all fantastic, but I would have to say the Thanksgiving assistance really stands out. That's a really big event, a lot of coordination. We have media there. We partner with a lot of different agencies. It seems to grow more and more every year. For Thanksgiving, for the Sparks and North Valleys, we served 350 families. In Sun Valley, I think 80 to 100? Oh, 236.
Okay.
And then for Christmas, we served 362? 162 for Christmas. So really big event, and nice to partner with the agencies and the schools, and definitely nice to make the holidays a little brighter for our families in need.
And I know we don't know who's sitting next to you, but what is our famous sidekick's favorite part from the last quarter?
Hello.
Hello.
What's my favorite? I want to say my favorite was the adopting the 20 kids, because it was out of our Central Reno office, and it was nice to put smiles on. Actually asked the parent, and most of them were teen moms that we have with their kids at the school. When they say, "You picked me to, have my kid. What can I write down? Can I ask for this?" I said, "Sure, give me 3 or 5 things." And they were so generous, they filled everything
Wow.
on these kids' lists, and it was 20 of them. So it was awesome.
Thank you for sharing. Anything else? We can close out item 2.04. Rebecca, is there anything that you want to add before I close out the item?
No.
See, I have a train to worry about. You have a dog, and I have a train.
Chairman, can I just add, we are still in the middle of our collaboration with Big Reno Coat Drive, but they've donated about 2,000 coats to us, and we've given out almost all of those to students in need in our district too.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, we will close item 2.04, and then item 2.05, which is the review of upcoming meetings, dates, and reminder of the importance of regular attendance at the council family resource meetings, family resource center meetings, which are to finish out the school year is March 20th of 2024 and June 20th, 2024, which our June meeting will be a Thursday meeting because of the Juneteenth holiday that is celebrated on that Wednesday. So this item's on here just so that I can remind you guys that there are currently 6 council members and we need 4 of us to meet. So I'm sure we all enjoy Lisa's constant reminders to let her know if we're here, and it's really so that we can make sure that we all drive down here with a purpose, right? That we don't drive down here and we have to cancel a meeting lack of quorum. So if you can put those dates on your calendar, March 20th and June 20th of this year, and then yeah, I think that's all I have. Which will bring us to our closing items, which is item 3. 3.01 is public comment. Rochelle, do we have any public comment?
Yes, Chair Benton, Rochelle Muriel for the record. I just wanted to bring Jean McElway back up really quick. She is our newest Family Resource Center specialist that replaced Wiley. So I want to be able to introduce her to you and allow her a couple of minutes just to get to know you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Rochelle. My name is Jean McElwee. I have been with Washoe County School District Family Resource Center since 2010 as a family advocate, and excited to start this new adventure. Trying to fill Wiley's shoes is really tough, but I did work for Wiley before, so he taught me a little bit there. I am part-time as a family resource center specialist, and very excited to start and work with everybody and bring new ideas and help everybody out.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we can't dialogue back and forth, so I would love to allow them to talk to you, but it can't be done at this dais.
Thank you, Doug. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody in the public wishing to speak? No? Okay. We will move to item 3.02. The only time I get to bang the gavel is next, not this one. So our next meeting is March 20th, 2024. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting at 6:57.
Bye, Rebecca. Thanks.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Bye.